And it is an all new Drinks to Words by, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, after a brief hiatus, unbeknownst, I was supposed to move in a couple weeks ago, but that took a turn and had to wait an extra week to move. And so we just took some extra time off from that. But here I am broadcasting from my actual place. Let me give you guys a quick. Full screen in 1 second so you can see my brand new establishment.
Your wallpaper looks like it's like the design for it's kids portraits in elementary.
this is this
You
is
got like the laser background.
yeah, man, I like it's cool. It came like this,
Okay.
and I was like, yeah, well, that's kind of vibey. And
Yeah,
I went and I got the curtains to kind of match it and stuff like that. So this is
I
me in
like
my
it.
new studio. What do you think?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, a lot different from my recording studio that I had in the background, but you can actually see stuff now. I'm still dialing this place in, so uh, don't mind me
It
moving some
takes
stuff around.
make it your own.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, so we have a lot to get to in the past 2 weeks, but we'll get to that in just one moment. But it is an all new drinks towards by. What are you drinking, David?
I will be casually sipping on a little of the Cove's Maker's Mark, one of the bottles that I won in the raffle.
Ooh, you don't have the thing on you. The what's it called? Like the bottle?
I have the bottle. You want me to show the
Yeah,
bottle?
show them the bottle, man.
Ugh, you can get
Why
up some
not?
shit.
Why not show them the bottle? That's what I say.
I've put quite a dent into this. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm barely sipping.
Yeah. Let's see. Look at that.
Cool. Maker's Mark.
You did put. Have you been putting that in the refrigerator? It looks a little cold and
Uh,
frosty.
yeah, I did it just because I didn't have any ice. I just needed this one to be chilled a little bit. That's why I took it out right now.
Okay. I will be doing the last of. I right before I moved, I told you that I got a little set of Stella drinks, and this is the last of it. I saved the best for last. This is the honey peach that I
Oh
got
wow,
going on,
it's a nice
and
bottle. A nice, cute little bottle.
yeah, yeah. So let's pour that out. I found these glasses, and
I can't find my glasses.
right, I found this glass, and I washed it, but I think it's for candles. But it looks like a cool glass. See, for all of you guys at home watching on our YouTube channel. Whoops, there it is.
It looks like a bucket.
Right, but it has this like round
Okay, now I
thing.
see that. Yeah, now I see it.
Make sure to go check
Where's
us out on
it
YouTube
from?
so you can watch it. It was there was a retirement party going on, and they left a bunch of candles, and um, the candle wasn't in here, and that's when I was like, oh, is this a glass? Then I got it, and then I started noticing there were candles in there, and I'm like, well, that's odd, but I'm like, anything could be a glass these days.
Yeah, the Cove has started implementing candles. It's
Yeah,
like candlelight, and I was just like, the first time back, I was like, what did I walk into? Like, what's with this ambiance? And it's funny because you know how I like to go in and clean up stuff, right? It takes everything I have not to pick up one of those like once they're out, like oh it's like a little shot glass. Like when did we get these shot? Oh, that's the candle holder, my
yeah.
bad.
Fire in a bar. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of trust. I'm not gonna lie.
And dude, trust me, like every like security bone in my body was like, okay, where's the nearest fire extinguisher? Maybe we should move these away from the hand sanitizers. They
Oh
do be
yeah, yeah.
shit.
That's that. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the hand sanitizers, and then like somebody spills a drink, somebody fucking decides to like drop their napkin in it. It's like I said, my mind was going, oh, everything that could go wrong. It's nice. I like it. I don't, it was the initial shock. Like every feeling of security was just like, what could possibly go wrong? But no, it's a nice little feel.
Don't mind me. I'm
Who
still.
doesn't want to be at the cove by candlelight?
Did you see the Cove on Channel 2? It was on Destination LA last week at I want to say like 9 in the morning
It
on
was Sunday,
Sunday.
right?
Yeah.
I was still at Comic Con when that came on. I know it's been like shared on social media. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and like watch it.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday was all about infrastructure um, and putting in TVs and stuff like that at my new spot. And so I missed it too. So, but I did see it on social media, on Instagram. So I was gonna watch it earlier today, but I was out and about today, and I had a ton of e-waste that I was trying to get rid of, and I found a place that takes e-waste. So I just loaded up my vehicle and took it out and dropped a ton of it off, and I felt so good about myself. You know, it's one of those things that I think we should do. And I'm not trying to be all preachy or anything, but don't throw stuff away that's not biodegradable. If there's a way to safely get rid of it, do it. That's what I say.
Yeah, I was like when you initially told me, I was like, all right, Captain Planet over here.
Just trying to save America. You know what I mean? Trying to do what I can. That's all.
World tip of world.
Yeah, but where should we go first? Should we start off with Comic Con first, or should we start off with the move? I know some people want to hear about a little bit of both. Um,
This is where it would have been nice to be in the bar and then, all right, open. Somebody make a suggestion.
I know.
But I don't know. I mean, we can start with Comic Con.
All right.
I was out of town for a good minute, man. Living out of a hotel, it takes its toll. You're not sleeping right. I was working long days. Everybody's like, "Oh, it must have been so much fun." I go, "I'm working 15, 16 hour days.
Yeah,
I'm tired. I am tired.
because everybody thinks
I
that
was still
they
30,000 steps.
yeah, everybody thinks that you go to Comic Con and you're like literally like enjoying it. You know, it's different when you're working Comic Con than from when you're actually just at Comic Con.
Yeah,
What were the cool booths? I'm sure you were able to still walk around. You know.
that's just it. Like, I actually didn't get to really go into the exhibit hall. I mean, some people who have me on social media saw the picture that I took with the Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
like, group. But honestly, I didn't get to like go shopping or anything. I didn't really get to explore because I miscalculated when they were shutting down. So when I finally took like to go like advantage, like, oh, I'm gonna go check some stuff, maybe buy a T-shirt or some pins or something. They were all breaking down. It was all over. I was like, God damn it! Yeah, because I was for those familiar with Comic Con, I was running Ballroom 20. Ballroom 20 is the second largest like room hall in the for Comic Con. So I think mine had anywhere between 35 to 3,800 seats, and I had panels. I had like the Marvel animation. Um, I had the Orville cast in there, Severance, Interview with a Vampire, the new series coming out. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool in regards to like, oh hey, look, there's Ben Stiller and Patton Oswalt.
No way. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Any
Yeah.
cool cosplays happening that you saw?
Um, I didn't get to see many. Like, it's really weird, is because like my hall wasn't for cosplayers. Like you had some people who were dressed up, but they kind of stayed towards the exhibit halls because they like to like they're in the lobbies and stuff. I'm on the second floor where people are sitting down, and some of these people just can't sit down in their costumes. So a lot of them are going to wait in line because they want to be out and about. People they want people to see them. So yeah, I didn't get to see as many as I would have liked or I've had before, like when I'm doing shows like that.
Yeah, yeah. Any what were the highs of Comic Con for you?
The highs. First and foremost, it's always like I do those jobs because of my coworkers. I love my coworkers. Like we just like it is shit talkomania type of thing. Like survive because we deal with it with each other. It's like we're not bouncing back and forth and highs. I don't know. It was cool to see like the stuff before anybody else. Like legitimately in my area, we do what's called tech checks. It's basically just like sound checks for the videos and stuff. So I had seen all of it. Like they showed a full episode of What if you're into the
Yeah,
Disney.
those are cool.
Uh, yeah, I saw the Family Guy show. I saw the trailers for like Interview with the Vampire and stuff like that, all before anybody else. So that's kind of a cool thing. Like I was legitimately dealing with like Apple Plus and Disney Marvel people. So it's like, okay. Um, what else?
Did you try to
Um,
pitch them the show? Were you like, you know what? You should be on Drinks to Words by.
no, I did not. Professionalism was in play, so to speak. So I didn't pitch the show, but you know, it was a it was nice getting to meet new people and like especially the people who have been with Comic Con for a very long time. So it's like there's like this kindredness to these people. Like it's like you hear I've been coming to Comic Con for 20 years, and I'm like, God damn, like, I didn't even know it was around for that long.
Yeah.
It's been I think since the 70s. It started in the 70s. I was reading up a little bit. It started in the 70s in San Diego when they only had like 300 people. Mind you, we had at least 150,000 people going through Comic Con that weekend.
Wow.
A lot of people to deal with.
Was everybody in masks or
Yes, everybody was very compliant. I mean, they had a few people, but overall, we were very compliant. Everybody was very compliant with wearing the masks and stuff, just because you need to, and it's how they feel safer. So
yeah, shit's
um,
getting real.
that my long day, dude, I was like, and I said I left early. I was there from like 5:30 to like 9:30, and it was the masquerade ball. I was too tired to stay. I heard, it's a big party, so to speak, with costume party and everything. But yeah, like trying to get a line of people for hour, like over, it's like it was crazy. Like that line wrapped around, zigzag through other lines. It was crazy, but I was able to deal with it. Everybody got in timely and safely, so it was a success for me at that point. I was very proud of myself for that one. That was one of the highs, is getting that line in when there was a lot of chaos. Like I legitimately had to start like not yell, but I had to be like, "All right, everybody stop, nobody move. We're gonna do this. Follow my plan." I got security people. This is what we're gonna do, and sure enough, like everybody starts following. It's like because you want them to be in line. You don't want them like people start complaining about like, oh, they got ahead of me. All this stuff. Like nobody's getting ahead of nobody. Here's what we do. Go. And sure enough, I wrapped the line, had it down. It was like at that point, it was just like, cool, we're good. I'm like super happy. But yeah, those were the highs.
Very cool. Any lows down there? Not the hardware store.
No, the lows is one, long days, very very busy long days. Two, not being able to get into the exhibit hall and see some stuff. I did kind of meet Fluffy Gabriel Iglesias. Um, let's see, that wasn't a low. Just as I actually got a little bit of a intro. I guess it's a part of it is not being able to experience it the way these people do,
Yeah.
and and to a point, just like sometimes seeing the disappointment in people's faces, like I'm sorry, we're full, can't let you in, and it's like everybody's like, you'll get a cry or two, which was amazing because normally I've I always get a lot of people who cry to me, especially with like collections, even at the bar.
Yeah.
I didn't have one person like I could see straight teary eyed. So, but yeah, it's like it's not being able to accommodate everybody as much as you would want or they want. So that's kind of a low.
Yeah. Would you recommend Comic Con?
To go visit, to go
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
it's an experience. Um, I wouldn't recommend buying a 3 day ticket, but because one day is kind of sufficient. Um, I do recommend avoiding Hall H. Now that's the biggest hall that they
Right.
have, and
Right.
that holds like 6,500 people, and that's where you see the trailers to like um, to the Marvel movie, the whole all that stuff. Like those, that's like where the big trailers are, where everybody wants to go see it. Like that's a disappointment. Like um, there were people like I had a great time because I didn't go to Hall H. It was the people who were like trying to get into H who were in line for like 4 days. So I recommend a 1 day pass. I recommend getting all in. Uh, Check the exhibits. If there's somebody specifically that you want, like to get the autograph or something. But yeah, panels. It's a hit or miss. It's like you like to see what's coming out before anybody else, but ultimately, it's like you're waiting maybe 90 minutes before they release it
Wow.
anyway. It's like, okay, showed it, now we can release it to everybody else. So yeah, it's for me. I personally I would rather work it than go to it, but it's something that yeah, 1 day, just a 1 day pass, you'll get your feels and everything.
All right. Very cool. Do we miss anything? Did we miss anything on the Comic Con?
Oh, I did get to see. There was a kind of a special thing where uh, because they have like it's Comic Con is such a very broad thing. It's not just comics. It's not just anime. It's
Right.
not just the booths and everything. Like they had, it's like TV. Like there was like TV everywhere. Like you said, like I had AMC's Interview with a Vampire. It's just everything that you could nerd out on. It's applicable there. One of my friends, his room was holding WWE, and they were showing a bunch of. So I was like, "Come over, he's coming out."
Yeah.
And there was a surprise guest where the Undertaker came out. So I went over there and got to see the Undertaker.
That's
They
cool.
played the music, kind of fog, but they played the music, kind of like dim the lights a little bit, and then he comes out. It's a big guy,
Yeah. Yeah. The Undertaker would be.
a big dude.
Was his brother
But
Kane
yeah,
there?
no, no, no. So like they were like showing a bunch of toys that they have coming out, like Macho Man and Andre the Giant, and like a bunch of old school stuff. And sure enough, they had a Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like, so there's some fandom that happens.
Very cool. Okay. I guess we'll talk about the move next. For all you know, and as you could see, I moved to beautiful Inglewood, California. Such an interesting time in my life, and I walked away with the notion of this, and that is, friends don't let friends um, move them. Okay, I think the time of you helping a friend move is over. We reached an age where moving somebody could actually hurt you, you know? And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a moving
Are
company.
we,
What'd you say?
are we
You,
talking? hurt you, or
Are we talking
can you
what?
hear me?
No, no.
I said okay. So I was asking when you say it could hurt you, are we talking hurt the friendship or hurt you physically?
Both, physically, emotionally, friendshiply, you know, because I had a lot of stuff packed, but it was the small shit in the end that got me. Because at the end, it was just like, oh my God, I have all this small shit. And every day, I was packing at least one box, but it was all the big shit. So when it finally came down for the movers to come, they still had to help me box up all the little shit. And it was just like, oh my God, such a pain. But these guys were pros, man. It took, for me to leave, it took 2.5 hours for them to pack me up and get me out. Because there were still some things that um, I couldn't do by myself, which was like get the TV off the wall because I mounted it on the wall, and my dresser drawers and stuff like that. They moved, and it was kind of nice, just like packing and being like, all right, take this. You know what I mean? It was kind of nice. Another thing too is, and this is where they get you. If you ever plan on moving and hiring a company, this is where they get you. This is a nation or a California statewide thing. Okay. Whenever you move in your vehicle, they get double time. So once they're in their van or truck or whatever, they get paid double time for the drive there. And I don't know why it's a California law, but every moving company has this law because it's California said that's the way it is. And right before we left, my mom called and she's like, "Your bed's here." My mom ordered me a bed. I have a real bed, David Macias. And she's like, "Your bed's here. Can you come pick it up and have the movers take it?" And this bed's heavy. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." And I told them, I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna make one stop." They're like, "One stop?" They're like, "That costs extra." Every little hiccup that I had, they're like, "That costs extra." And I was like, "All right, like I'm fine. Like I budgeted for this." I didn't tell them how much I budgeted, but I'm like, "That's in my budget. That's in my budget. Go ahead. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this." Another cool thing was like I had all my glasses that I was just gonna put in a box, and they're like, "No," they're like we have to bubble wrap them and do all this extra stuff to make sure your glasses don't break, and that costs extra. And I'm like, "Do it." And it paid because all my glasses made it. Like nothing broke. So I was like, even though like they're kind of being mad about it, I was like, you know what? You taking the time and bubble wrapping it and doing all this extra stuff, I was like, really paid off because nothing broke. And towards the end, I was happy about it. So then we went to my mom's house, and my mom had lunch for these guys and for me. And so we fed them. And right off the bat, when they showed up, I was like, "Guys, here's," and I tipped them first. I'm like, here's the tip first. Like, I'm just gonna give you this right away because I know once we get into the swing of things, I could forget or whatever." And I gave them a case of water. I'm like, "This is all of our water, but I'm like, this is your water too." And so they're like, "All right, cool." So then we went to my mom's house. We fed them, and then we drove back to Inglewood. And this is where it cost. This is why I liked paying, was because there was like no parking anywhere. And I'm like, had I been driving, I would be like, I don't know what to do. But these guys, they were such professionals. They just took up one side of the street, threw on some cones, and they were ready to go. And I was like, "Dude, I wouldn't even have thought of that." And I was talking to the guy, and the guy had been doing this for 7 years. He's on his seventh year doing this, and I'm like, "I don't know how you guys could do this." I'm like, I was just packing and I was already over it. You know what I mean? But I'm like, "You guys do this every single day." And the guy's like, "Yeah, every single day for 7 years." And I'm like, "Fuck, I could never do this. This is a physically laborious job, you know?"
Right.
And I had a small little place that I was moving out of. And for them to see where I moved into, they're like, "Wow, you made it." They're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, I do stuff. But I have to say, the weather here is absolutely fantastic. I'm really enjoying the weather here. It's not West Covina is so hot. I didn't know how hot it was. It's like you're living on a desert planet or something like that. And here it's always kind of like a little overcasty, and I'm always getting a nice breeze coming in. But the true task was actually unpacking. And so when they were done dropping off all my stuff, I had to go to work. And I was like, I got to go to work, guys. And so they left, and then I took a quick shower. Then I went to work, and that was a tough day. We were slammed, and I was like, man, I am having such a crazy transitional day in my life. And so afterwards, I didn't get off until like 2 in the morning. And my original plan was to go back home to the Cove, and then Greg was having his bartend anniversary party, and I missed it, but
Yeah.
luckily I was there the day before, on Thursday, unbeknownst to myself, not knowing that that was gonna be kind of like my last day there, and so I got to spend some time with him and stuff like that. Um, and so then I went back to my place, and I started cleaning it. And man, from the deconstruction of my old home to now, I was just like, how could I have lived in here? Like, I really made the most of that space,
Yeah.
and just cleaning it, and then saying goodbye to Yachty and Marco was a little. It was heartwarming. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, thank you for everything. I gotta go, and I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna see you guys again, but I'm like, when I get everything kind of up and running, I'll invite you guys, and it was kind of sad. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I gotta have one last drink at the Cove, and so I went to the Cove, and it was perfect in the weirdest way. I walk in and nobody's in there other than Maria and Ramon. So it was just kind of like, oh man, I kind of have the Cove to myself a little bit. And Ramon's like, aren't you supposed to be gone? I'm like, this is it. I'm leaving. Like, and he's like, let me buy you a drink. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, but we can't go crazy. I'm like, we can't go crazy. I
God.
got I got to drive. And I'm meeting my family. My family was driving over here to help me unpack. Because everything was still packaged up. And and then while we were there, it was weird. I was like, this is gonna be my last time being a local. I'm like, the next time I show up, I'm not gonna be a local, even though I know I'm gonna be a local in my heart. But like, I'm not. So yeah, it was a sad moment. And I only had like two drinks, and then I left. Which is very uncommon
Very.
for me. And right before I left, though, Mary came in with with Scott's family and son and stuff like that. And if we can have a second to cheer to our Uncle Scotty. He passed away, and this is for you, Uncle Scotty. Wherever you're at, I hope you are watching the Dodgers and getting ready for Ram season. So that's to you, Uncle Scotty. So I bought them around too. I bought them all around. I was like, let me get a round for the family, and then that was it. Then I walked out, and then so began the drive, and it was hilarious. The drive was hilarious coming to Inglewood because, of course, traffic. You know what I mean? Like this was my last bout with traffic, and it was horrible. The traffic was terrible. Of course it would be. And I was just like, of course it would be horrible. This is my last kind of hurrah with traffic. And it took me about an hour and a half to get over here. And once I got here, my family got here like 30 minutes later, and then became the arduous task of unpacking. And oh my god, dude, like the amount of cardboard that I have, and I've been like sneaking the cardboard out this entire time because when I came on a day where the trash had already been taken out in the recycler here in the complex, so the trash was already filled. So it was like I can't put any cardboard in there, you know. And so I've been sneaking it out to where I work and just like dropping it off there, like under the cover of night, in the morning. And I'm like, is anyone there? And I'm just like tossing all these cardboard boxes and stuff like that. So, and then began the on Sunday began the infrastructure of putting up the TVs, and I think that's kind of like a rite of passage now. Mounting a TV. I didn't know how to do it, and my brother taught me how to do it. He's like, okay, Albert. He's like, you need to learn how to do this. He's like, just for whenever if you and it's crazy. It's like everybody foresees something that I don't, but they're like, the next time you move, they're like, you're gonna put up TVs, and I'm like, move? I'm never moving again. They're like, the next time you move, and I'm just like, what do you guys see that I don't? But whatever, So that was interesting. And then me and my brother were putting up the thing, and he was showing me. He's like, this might need an anchor, and I'm like, what's an anchor? And then he starts telling me about all this other stuff, and just kind of the general construction of a place. And dude, the runs to Home Depot, oh my god. We just kept on forgetting stuff, and he's like, oh, we're gonna need an anchor. So then we would have to go get an anchor, and putting on the TV, mounting it, and stuff like that. It was a very brother moment. I will say that it was a fun brother moment that I had with them, and learning how to do that stuff. But then came the time that I finally decided that I was gonna do something on my own, and my first kind of venture into property owning, I was gonna change out the shower head. I didn't like it, and I was like, let me do my first home improvement. And so, I'm telling my brother, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I got a wrench, and it should be fine. He's like, you don't need a wrench. He's like, you need a monkey wrench. Well, he called it a pipe wrench. And I was like, oh, pipe wrench. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, this is a monkey wrench. So then I went to Home Depot again. And the crazy thing now about Home Depot, you walk in for one thing, you leave with like 20 other pieces. You're like, why do
It's
my
like a target for men.
yeah, exactly. This is our Victoria's Secrets. You know what I mean? And so I walk out with all this extra shit. I bought It was cool. My brother at the end gave me his drill. He's like, here, you can have it. And but he used it as such a great political strategy, because he's telling his wife Esmeralda, he's like, I'm gonna give Albert my screwdriver, my electric drill, my electric drill. He's like, there are these new ones. He's like, what do you think? She's like, yeah, give it to him. I'll buy you that one. He's like, all right. It's like kind of used me a little politically, but I was like, it's a win for everyone. So I'm kind of cool with that. And so, yeah, so that was kind of a rite of passage to my first ever, electric power drill. And so I went, and I was looking at all these monkey wrenches, right? And they had a $17 one, a $25 one, 35, in all various sizes. They had a $75 one that was like I'm talking like the Hulk should be using this wrench. And I was like, I want that one. I want the $75 one. But then I had to talk myself down and be like, I'm like, maybe not, maybe not. So I got the second one up, the $25 one, and as I was walking out, I was like, you know what? I was like, Super Mario could have overthrown, the Koopa Troopas so quickly with just this monkey wrench. This is a solid wrench. You could do some damage. I don't know why, we all wanted it to be the spitter or have the star. He didn't need the star. He needed a monkey wrench, and he could have cleaned up so much, in that video game.
just been brutal, just fucking all the Koopas bleeding and shit. Like, oh hey, stop, you win, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just like, this game could have been a complete 180 had they just put in this monkey wrench. So yeah, so then I went in and I did my first Bob Vila, and there I am like turning the wrench around and moving stuff, and put on my first shower head and did the maiden shower with it, and I felt great, man. I felt like I could take on the world. I was like, this is such a great feeling.
Very king of your castle.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
So that was kind of like my experience with everything, and up until now I'm still unpacking. I bought some shelves that I need, and I still have to create shelves and do that, but it's slowly coming on. It looks like a place now. Before, it looked like one of those centers of storage center, but now it's actually kind of taking form, taking shape, and it actually kind of looks like a place. I set up the recording studio, I want to say a couple nights ago, um, uh, completely by accident. My buddy Leo, who's a film critic, he needed a place to record his podcast. And he's like, Albert, I just left this network called CRN. He's like, I just left CRN. He's like, but I'm still doing the show, and I need somewhere to record. And I'm like, I just so happened to have tested everything out, or no, I just happened to put everything together. I'm like, I haven't tested anything out. Saturday was going to be me and you testing it out today, but he's like, no, it's fine. So we came over and we did a quick recording session here already, and that was fun because I was on another podcast. So now I'm his engineer, and he kind of liked my studio, and he's like, yeah, I'll keep on coming back and doing more. So unbeknownst to myself, now I'm on another podcast. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
So the studio's already bringing me some luck.
good. Glad. So how is it like out there on your own? Like, you can't go to the cove, can't like you can't stop by just to say hi type of thing. Like, how is it you being there?
Um, I got to tell you, then this is what happened yesterday. Is you know all I've been doing is unpacking and stuff like that, and I've befriended my agent. Her name is Cece, and so every now and then Cece will just check in with me, see how I'm doing, and she lives like literally 3 minutes away, and so she called me. She's like, "Hey, my car's in the shop, and they let me borrow this 2022 Mustang." She's like, "I got to go to Santa Monica to pick up some mail." She's like, "You want to get some dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "That sounds fun." So she picked me up, and we drove to Santa Monica. And then as we're driving, she's like, "You want to do the coast?" I'm like, "Fuck it, let's do the coast." So there we are, just like driving down the coast, of PCH. We're just like blaring like music, having a great time, and then we turn around, come back, and it's just cool to just kind of. I'm so close to the beach, and then we went to dinner, and we're just talking about like real estate, and she's telling me about her projects that she's working on, other clients that she has, and stuff like that, and it was such a 180 from what I'm used to, because usually I was thinking, I'm like, man, I'm like, right now, I'm like, I'd probably be at the Cove, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm like, but I'd be at the Cove and just watching a Dodger game, doing really nothing. But yesterday was such like an eventful day, and then afterwards, my buddy was like, "Hey, I know you're gonna do e-waste around here. Why don't you come to my house? We could, chill, and you could just spend the night here, and then afterwards drop it off. That way, you're kind of taking in the day." So I went over there. He had gin for me. It was great. and then we were just talking shop a little bit, and then um, I fell asleep. Then I woke up, and then we went to this really cool cafe in San Pedro, and then we started just driving around San Pedro. You know what I mean? And he showed me some really cool spots around there. And again, I was just like, man, like I'm out. I'm out and about. You know what I mean? And it,
Awesome, man.
it's so different from my life, and from what I was doing in West Covina. Not that there's anything wrong with what I was doing in West Covina. It's just I was just kind of a hermit, and I would just go to one place, and that's it. And I've traveled so much in these past like 2 days. You know what I mean? That I'm like, this is all right. I'm so far. I know it's not always gonna be like this, but I was like, this is okay. I like it, and not only that, I'm like a mile away from Randy's Donuts, and right now, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are just playing down the street at SoFi, and so right now Randy's Donut is covered, and it just has a big old Red Hot Chili Peppers logo around there. So it's kind of cool.
That's nice, man. I'm happy for you. You say it's like a new life experience is giving you new life experiences. It's cool. Very, very happy for you, man.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I knew, and not only that, but driving to work. Can we talk about that? 10-minute drive. 10-minute drive. I'm sorry. It's 15 minutes. You know what I mean? But amazing. My mental health is like so much better. I have so much more time. Granted, I don't know what to do with the time right now because I'm still unpacking. So until I finish unpacking, I'm really not going to know what to do because all my life is kind of just put into like making this place habitable and stuff. But Herbie loves this place, my fish. And it's so great that I get to see all these different angles of him and seeing him around. So, and he doesn't even need a fan or anything like that. Like the temperature is perfect for an aquarium.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah, David, I can't wait for you to come and visit and check it out.
Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah.
We
So
fucking be hang out. 'Cause I haven't seen you in a bit. Like I said, I was out of town from like the 8th up until Thursday, and then I'm working every day at the Cove up until Thursday. So after Thursday night, I'm gonna have some couple days off. I'm gonna celebrate the anniversary of my wedding with my wife.
do you ever play that? And I just heard this song the other day by Tony. Do you ever play like, do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Our
So here's the thing
anniversary.
with that.
Yeah, it's a great song.
So here's the thing with that. It is, but I can't play that with her because I had already associated that song with the anniversary of my breakup. So I would play that, like for many people who knew I was single for a very long time, and the date of like the breakup between me and my daughter's mom. Again, no ill will. It was
Right.
a thing that it was just like at the time, and I just kept it going for stupidity. I would play that song, and I'd have a glass of whiskey. So I can't associate that song with her because it seems wrong.
All
You
right.
know, we don't really have, like, me and her don't actually have a song, so that might be something to kind of look into this weekend. I know that just try to have time together, because our schedules are so different. Where I work nights, she works days and stuff. So yeah, hopefully, if applicable, maybe, we'll give you a call since you were the witness to our nuptials.
Yeah, that
Sure,
was.
ID.
I still have the shirt. You know what I mean? The tuxedo T-shirt.
No t-shirts.
Yeah, very cool. Um, so yeah, that kind of like sums up a little catching up um, from us. But let's get to some topics really quick that I wrote down. I did write a lot of topics, but let's see what I wrote. Um, I don't. Oh, yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. And earlier we did say goodbye to our Uncle Scotty.
Yeah.
Um, but in that, I would like to also give a moment of silence for the Choco Taco. I'm not sure if you know about this, but they're discontinuing the Choco Taco.
So,
Now it's time to get a
I
real
will admit,
subject.
I wasn't a real Choco Taco fan. I maybe had two in my lifetime. It wasn't a big thing for me. Like I feel that like people like make bigger deals of shit just because it's going away. Like I can't believe it. Like how many chocolate tacos have you eaten in the last year that you're really complaining right the fuck now? Like you're making us think about some shit. Like if you got rid of thin mint cookies from the for like
Yeah.
the Girl Scouts, okay, that's a thing. The chocolate taco, too much, too much.
Yeah, you're right. Now, Choco Tacos online are going for an exorbitant amount of money. People are like, "This is the last Choco Taco ever." So
Yeah,
rest in peace, Choco Taco.
I already yeah, I already saw a video on how to make your own chocolate taco. So I'm like, if I really wanted to make a chocolate taco like this.
Oh man, you're gonna have to send me that video. Um, oh, wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Knott's Berry Farm. And for those that don't live around Southern California, that is a theme park, and the big theme park is always Disneyland, but everybody's been going to Knott's Berry Farm. It's like, oh, you're going to Knott's Berry Farm. Why? You can't afford Disneyland? They're like, yeah. So they installed chaperones now on Fridays, Saturdays, and I believe Sundays now, because it's been getting out of hand with all the kids. So the
Yeah.
chaperones have to be 21 years or older now to watch all the young adults there. And I wanted to get your take. Like, what is going on these theme parks that people are just misbehaving?
It's just I don't know. I mean, you were a teenage kid.
I wasn't your typical
Would you?
teenage kid, though. You know what I mean? I enjoyed cups of coffee and playing video games, GoldenEye specifically.
Well, I wasn't drinking coffee as a teen. As a teen, I don't drink it now as an adult. Really. I don't know. I mean, I get where Nazis coming from, and it makes a lot of sense because these kids are fucking just I think when kids get together and there's not somebody like an actual like voice of reason, it's like, oh yeah, let's hop this fence and let's put ourselves in danger. And it's just like, then it becomes Final Destination where a kid
Yeah.
gets their head kicked off. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I mean it's a safety thing. Kids are stupid, and they need chaperones. Because I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just one incident. I'm sure there were several incidents like that have transpired, whether it's kids fighting other kids, bullies, or just being stupid, and like you have a lot of games and stuff. They're like trying to probably steal fucking stuffed animals and shit.
Yeah.
It's only for the weekend. It's just like they don't expect these kids to be able to go during the weekday, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, like this is going to be a good hookup spot for 21-year and older people. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, this is where all the 21-year-olds are now. So, like we can go hook up, or I can probably meet somebody there. So,
Oh, oh, you're chaperoning. I'm
yeah,
chaperoning. Maybe we chaperone
together.
together. Um, but here's the thing: is like, do they need the chaperone just to get in the park, or like once they're in the park, do they have to be with them for every ride, everything they do?
That's a good question. I don't know. I wasn't sure. I just read, I skimmed it really quick, and this was like something that I read last week, so it was more fresh in my mind last week. Because I thought we were gonna be on, but then a bunch of stuff happened. So
So it's one of those like you just hired like, hey, we'll pay for your ticket if you get us in the door. Like will you
Yeah.
buy us some liquor? Like at that point, you're better off having them buy you liquor instead of chaperoning you to do the fucking like a fucking amusement party. You're like, I don't want to be here. I got to be here to fucking take care of you, dumbasses. Great.
Yeah. And in keeping with that, these kids don't know how good they got it because I read something that made sense, and that was growing up as a kid, when you missed a show, you missed it forever. You know what I mean? Like there was no, when it went on summer break, that was it. There was no reruns, no nothing. It was gone. If you missed the season finale or the series finale, that was it. You had to wait until the following, 3 months later for the recap in order to see kind of what happened. But now with streaming services and everything, these kids will never miss a show. So I thought that was rather apropos, if you will.
I mean, I guess I never thought of it that way. That was, I guess, the whole idea of must see TV was way made way a slogan before streaming and binge watching and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now even if you were like our age and there was a show that we never saw the ending, it's like I'm sure it's on one of the streaming services. Now I can finally watch the ending to this fucking show.
Yeah. And with that comes sports.
Sports.
Yeah. What is happening in sports?
Bill Russell passed away today.
I just found that out. Yeah, I was really sad. He was also the Clippers coach, right?
Was he? I don't remember this. Um, I know he's the all-time winningest like championship. He had like 11 NBA titles. So whenever we're like, who's the best, they never bring him up. I go, they won 11 titles. Pretty fucking good.
Yeah, 11-time NBA champion. Um, what else is going on? England just won the Women's European Championship.
They beat Germany.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. What else is going on in sports? I mean, sports is really just baseball right now. Football's ramping up. I saw what did I watch? Was it the Masters? It was one of those golf things I saw like a couple weeks ago. That was interesting.
Well, they have because the big thing with the golf is a lot of people have left the PGA to go to that live fucking thing. That's like all powered by Saudi Arabia money. So it's
Yeah.
like blood.
Let's see what
Uh,
else.
Everything's off season, so it's like you're watching like free agency and soccer, and soccer's doing their like scoring. So like all the European teams are in the U.S. playing. Uh, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm looking at the headlines right now. And the majority of the headlines are just about Bill Russell. So rest in peace as well. Him and Uncle Scotty are hopefully enjoying a Choco Taco together out there.
That's funny. Big old Choco Taco in the sky.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, dude, I was tripping out. And besides, so we're talking about people passing away. It's like we've lost two Goodfellas this year already. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, if any more Goodfellas go away, we'll lose
That's right.
lore.
That's right. We lost Uncle Paulie and
It wasn't. That's not.
yeah.
Yeah, lost Paul Sorvino. We lost Yoda. I was like, Jesus. If we lose Pesci or De Niro, I'll be really pissed off.
Don't even say that.
To put it into the sky, into the universe.
This is interesting. I just saw this. Manchester City wants to collect fan data using smart scarves. So they're like, okay, here, have a scarf with this chip on it, and we're just going to collect your data. That's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's mining us for our data. Apparently, there's an offer that the United States are going to deal to Russia for the release of Brittany Griner. I don't know if you read that or saw that or not. They're
Um, I know they've been in talks and like they're trying to barter like a convicted murderer in the prisoner swap for Brittany.
not only that, he's an arms dealer too. It's like why would we give away an arms dealer to Russia? They need arms right now. They need bodies too. They need legs. They need everything.
Well, it's that's the problem when they have you by the short hairs. I mean, they have an American, basketball WNBA star. It's just like it's a shitty situation.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I'm trying to see. It doesn't seem like there's a lot going on in sports. Oh, here's a new one. El Ocho is gonna be back for a day. That's a fun one. That famously came out in Dodgeball, an underdog story, and it caught on. So ESPN every now and then does El Ocho and plays just off the wall kind of sports.
Yeah, like cornhole championships and like
But
all.
cornhole championships are now kind of a norm. I've seen them being played on normal TV now, so that isn't so far off the menu, if you will. What would you like to see as kind of an El Ocho sport?
El Ocho sport. Bring back like American Gladiators.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, American Gladiators maybe. I don't know. What's a sport that I find interesting that I'd want to see? Like, I don't know. It's a good question.
What about like the beer league, or like a where you got to do the Das Boot?
Oh, that'd be dope. Actually, yeah. A drinking game.
Yeah, yeah, do that. That'd be kind of cool. Although, you know what, I haven't really drank. I mean, this is kind of like my first like official drink. I've just been so busy, and lately I've just been pounding water. Here. So I've been drinking at people's homes, but not not in here.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see what else is going on. I think that's it for sports, man. Not really much going on up until a couple weeks from now. We get into preseason very soon for football, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Last call for topics.
That's coffee tops.
Any topics you want to discuss, David Macias?
I don't have anything. Like I've like I said, I've been so wrapped up in work and stuff, and just getting back to everything. Like I wasn't supposed to do any shows again until November, but they gave me one for next month, so I got another show gig that I'm doing next month.
What
Uh,
show, if you don't mind me asking?
oh, it's just like a medical show. It's supposed to be at the LA Convention Center, so it's close. It's not anything far away.
Okay, so that's cool. So you won't
But
be.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But the only problem is so I'll be working like graveyard type shit. Like I'll be
Uh,
working from like 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. So,
those are brutal. What do you do to keep your mind occupied from falling asleep?
watch movies and creep up on the security guards, making sure they're not asleep. That's basically what I do. Like I'm literally just going around making sure everybody's awake. You awake? Wake up.
I mean, what crazy thing could happen at a medical thing? You know what I mean? But that's what they would expect.
Well, I mean, it's equipment. There's a lot of expensive shit that goes on in these conventions. So it's that we're in downtown LA, so there's transients. There's always an opportunity for just random people sneaking in. You never know the inside job that is convention life.
Yeah, yeah. I wrote something down for kind of a final topic, and want to get your thoughts on it. And this is a quote from FM Alexander. And it's people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits. And their habits decide their futures. What do you think about that kind of observation? I think it's pretty brilliant.
I agree. It's actually a very astute comment, so to speak. It's very spot on. Like, we can all say like, oh, you can't determine the future, but if you change certain things about yourself, then you can, your future does tend to go that way. I mean, look at you right now. You you changed your living. Uh, I don't know what I'm looking for here. Okay. You change your environment,
Yeah.
and you've already experienced more than in 2 days than you would have in a month over here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's true, and it's a very true statement.
Yeah. So, I guess why I wrote this down is because I was trying to think of maybe, sometimes I write stuff down and this is weird. Like I write something down. I'm like, oh, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember my thought on this, but I don't, but sometimes I do. But I think why I wrote this down was because I was curious about what new habits have you added into your life?
Um, have I added or have I thought of? Well, I mean, I've kind of got into communications with somebody in regards to doing a show. Um, so I've trying to change my current status. I know that I want to like maybe look more. I'm getting older. I gotta find more of a career type thing. I gotta look into something more than what I'm doing. I need to find an outlet. I know my wife is starting a Biggest Loser challenge with her coworkers starting tomorrow, and I think that it'd be a good idea for me to do the same thing, just healthier living, and be supportive. So it's always easier to have somebody there with you to do that. I don't know. I just There's changes that I'm thinking of. I haven't implemented them yet, but there's a lot in my mind in regards to the way I think my future is going to be. I kind of want to see you know, what you did. I mean, not to that extreme, obviously,
Right.
but what you did and like just what you just said, like, oh, I was fucking doing something I wouldn't be doing, and I think that's a good thing. I know there's some changes that I need to make. I just haven't implemented them, and I think moving forward with this next week that I can really look into those things.
Yeah. One of the habits that I finally got back into was eating cereal in the morning. It's been great. I, I have a real refrigerator
You're
now.
over like having like a life cereal.
I mean, I wasn't looking for anything existential, David, but okay, I'm like, I'm just eating cereal. Getting back into the love of the cereal. It's been great.
What's your go-to?
Well, my mom brought me like some Cheerios and some honey bunches of oats, so I've been doing a little mixing, matching with that, and that's been fun. I'm enjoying having a real life refrigerator that I can actually put stuff in, and
Fridge.
yeah, real fridge, man. The joys of home ownership, real fridge. So yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna do last. Last call for that. We did
Final
last call.
cheers.
We're gonna
Final
do
cheers.
final cheers, but before we get into final cheers, wanted to talk to you guys about the Cove Cocktail Bar. Even though we're not there, we will be there. I don't know when. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, and we'll let everybody know when we do a live show there. As you know, and as we've discussed before, I did move, and it's really far from where I'm at, and we can't do it every day there. So we'll figure out when we're gonna do another live show there, and we'll let you guys know. Although it has to be like soon, because football season is about to start, and yeah. So hopefully we can try to squeeze that in before football season. But as always, we always want to give the Cove a shout out for some of the best drinks in town. There's no other place that I recommend than the Cove Cocktail Bar. Feel free to visit them, and you could see David every now and then. He's still does security there, and you'll love,
Host.
yeah, host, and you're in no better hands than in David's. So make sure to go visit the Cove, covecocktailbar.com, and check them out on Instagram. I highly recommend their Instagram as well. And we are on the Venmo. So, guys, throw us a few fazools. Let's pack in that Venmo, so when we do show up at the Cove, we are going in with a treasure trove of money to spend on everybody, not just us, on everybody. So make sure to go ahead and What's that?
Want to get Albert? If you want to get Albert a little housewarming gift, we can. He can use. We can use the money, and he can purchase maybe some pots, some pans, some more
No, I have all that.
manly.
I need booze. I need booze, guys. That's the only thing that I need is booze and a couch. That's it. So feel free to let me know what you would like to contribute to. Also, guys, we are on a plethora of streaming services. Feel free to go check us out on so many streaming services like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, and so many more. And yes, we are on the YouTube. Go check us out now. Go log on to drinkswordsby.com, click on that YouTube banner, and it'll take you there. We don't have what they call a URL or a username yet. Excuse me. So, I mean, we do, but it's like 013 dash, and I'm not going to, you're not going to remember all that. So just go ahead and log on to drinkswordsby.com and click on that YouTube banner. We're trying to get those views up. You guys love us on the streaming. You guys love us audioly. We want you to love us visually as well. So go ahead and check us out visually there. Would really appreciate it. Okay, David, final cheers. What are we cheersing to this week?
Cheers to the Cove family, for the ones who are moving on to your new adventures, and to those that we've lost. It will still always be a very dysfunctional family, so to speak. There's always love there, and make sure that if you haven't told somebody recently, tell them you love them. You never know what happens.
For sure, the great cheers, and my cheers is gonna go to the movers of the world. The people that move people's into homes. Oh my God, I have so much respect for you guys. You guys are one of the hardest working unsung heroes in this country, and I appreciate you guys. And fuck, man, you guys work hard, and I'm giving you guys some love. So to them. So cheers.
It's been a pleasure, sir. It's been good seeing your face, and
Yeah.
get back into our podcast swing of things.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's been so great catching up with you, David, and seeing everybody you. Uh, but yeah. Hopefully we could start getting some people on and doing it like this for the time being. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for putting up with us. I mean, dude, I mean, we took 2 weeks off, and you know, that's the gift and the curse of this show. You know, sometimes our lives get in the way of the show, and our lives
Yeah.
take precedence. So thanks for tuning in and sticking in with us for that. All right, David, kick them out, man.
Just go, please. We got to clean.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
And that's going to wrap for another edition of Drinks and Birds By. We're out of here. Later.